Welcome to Tower Gardening Made Easy, and I'm Sherry. Thanks for tuning in. If you're new here, be sure to tap that button below and continue to grow our community. So today we've got a lot on tap, so make sure you stay tuned. I'm going to put some chapters in here for you. We're going to be doing some submerging of the shiitake blocks. We're going to be going through towers. We're going to be doing some planting. And then I have a special product that I found. If you haven't already looked at the post today, you should. And I'm really hoping it's going to solve the algae problem. So stand by. Welcome back. All right, so the first thing that I want to do is I want to start to submerge our shiitake blocks. So the other day, if you saw the video that was Let's Get Shroomed, and I'll post that right here for you. It's basically pulling all of the shiitake mushrooms off of these fruiting blocks. It was a little over 2 pounds. And I used a little bit of them last night. They were so delicious, and I still have a lot more to use. So we're going to go ahead and submerge these. These were wrapped in that video. As you can see, I haven't unwrapped them yet. These are fully wrapped. They were in my fridge for about 48 hours. So now what I want to do is I'm going to put on my sterile gloves, and we're going to go to the next step, which is to submerge, and they need to stay in this water bucket for about 4 hours. Now, this particular shiitake block was a little bit drier than the North Spore, so I'll probably do maybe 5 hours on this one and 4 hours on this one. Now, after that, what I'll do is I will put them back in their containers, those plastic tubs that I used in that video, to go back in the Martha tent for the second harvest. So let me get sterile here. So again, being super sterile when you're dealing with mushrooms is so, so important. Otherwise, your fruiting blocks, you will start to see mold. And once that happens, there's 2 things you can do. You can try to use a little bit of a hydroperoxide to, in that area, maybe sterilize a little bit of a knife and then kind of pick it out and then spray that spot. You could try it. It doesn't always work, but sometimes it does. This particular fruiting block, remember I told you that I went to that market. If you'd watched the video, I found this at an indoor farmer's market in Wayland, Mass. about a week ago. They have them on Saturdays at a place called Russell Garden. So if you were in the Northeast and you're in that area, go check it out because it had some really cool things. So, but when I put this block into the Martha tent, because I had already started to pin, I noticed at the top, I think it was this part. No, it was here. It had a little bit of mold. So I was like, well, it was pretty inexpensive. It's a different kind of company. And I took my mixture in the other bottle, just like this, that's just hydrogen peroxide and water, and gave it a really good squirt. I let it sit for a little bit. Then I put it into the tent, and it actually worked. So I had no problem leaving it in there. I was really hoping that it wasn't going to cross-contaminate because I had a lot of fruiting blocks in there. I had this one in here. I have a chestnut. I have a Namico. I have an oyster. I've got the Riki. There's a lot of bricks in there. So I was like really nervous to leave it, but everybody's okay. Everybody was fine. And the yield off of these guys were amazing. So I'm going to go ahead and sterilize my hands. This is just a little bit of alcohol. Give them a little bit of rub. And I've got a little bit of a towel here that's nice and clean. So I'm going to go ahead and unwrap these guys. This is the one from Wayland, the non-North Spore. And here we go. I don't really want to use scissors just because it might cut into the substrate of the fruiting block. So that's why I'm carefully just taking and unwrapping. You don't want to hurt the fruiting block, and also too, you don't really want to cut into it. You need to be very, very gentle because you want a second crop. There we go. All righty. So basically all you do is just put it into the water. Now it's going to float. So I'm going to do the other one, and then we're going to put something on top so that it will stay down. So let's do the second one. And this one feels relatively still moist. I think I mentioned that in the other video. Let's get shroomed. If you haven't had a chance to watch it, go watch it. It's a really great video. And I'm so glad to be doing some mushroom content. I really am. The towers are great and I love them. And we're going to get into those in a minute. But there's just something about the mushrooms that they're very rewarding because they grow so fast. And when they're in the right fruiting conditions, they produce a lot of food. So I'm very grateful. And you can do so much with mushrooms. Oh my gosh. So much. Okay. Getting down to the end, so I'm just going to kind of balance it here. There we go. There we go. Okay, so remember we talked about in the other video there was some divots in the substrate, kind of right there. This guy's like a floating. And I think I'm going to go ahead and put this side down. Okay, so as you can see, they just float. So I'm going to be using, I think I could probably do this with one cover. Now, if you had a skillet, like a cast iron skillet, you could do that. This is just a bucket that I cleaned, but I'm actually going to use, believe it or not, I don't know if this is going to work. Could be a disaster here in a second. But this heavy bottle of it's wrapped. I haven't unopened this, but it's super heavy, and that's what you need. And it's going to go over. Nope. Oh my gosh, the water just went right to the edge of the pan. So now I just have to balance her. So that actually worked out really well. So I used this as my submerger, and I just used one of those, these are the to-go cup tops that came with the towers with your beginner kit. So honestly, this just needs to sit. It's completely submerged for 4 to 5 hours, just like this. And then when they're done, I'm going to take them out. You do not have to rewrap them at this point. They go into their clean, sterile Tupperware, and then they go right back into the Martha tin. And usually it takes, 2 weeks or so, and you'll get the next crop. And I will be sure to bring that video because that will be, just a nice sequence of what we do together here. So, all right, that kind of concludes our mushrooms. So I'm going to turn the camera around, and then I want to go through the towers. So why don't we go ahead and do that now? Okay, let's start with the Zucchini Tower. So we planted this out about a week ago, and we've had some amazing growth. As you can see, like right here, move that light out of the way, it has its third and fourth leaf, and look how big they got. Just really beautiful. Super, super healthy. Before I went on camera, I went ahead and just did some preliminary stuff. I wanted to test the pH, and all of the towers they're right in that lovely range of about 6 to 6.5. Actually, but these guys are just super, super healthy. And remember how we did the rock wall around the stem to give it that extra support? It looks like they're all just growing, and these leaves are super heavy. And they just look delightful. So I have no qualms whatsoever. This guy is in really, really good shape. And I'm going to, at the end, we're going to go ahead and plant the arugula. I think it's ready, but we'll check that in a minute. I just want to go through the towers with you. Okay, so let's go ahead. And I'm going to whip you over to here. Let's go through the bok choy. The bok choy is looking really nice. It's very full this week. You can just see that it's super lush, super green. I don't have any yellowing of the leaves. No brown spots. I mean, look at that. It just looks so yummy. Just so yummy. I'm just so excited. I've never grown bok choy before, but I'm just so excited to have it in the tower. It's super pretty too. When you see him back, And look at that. It looks like a gigantic, beautiful bouquet. All right, so here's my dilemma. Okay, my watermelon tower here is, as you can see now, this got planted after the zucchini. So we are a little bit challenged this week because they're not growing. You know, it produced this one extra leaf and then there's one in the back. And so yesterday, as I was thinking about what I wanted to do today for on film, I kept looking at the top of the rock wall. Now, it had a little bit of algae. And that's a problem because, as I've said in previous videos, especially with the strawberries, that if you have algae that's on the top of your rock wall, okay, it is going to rob the nutrients from the seedling, and it's just not going to grow. And that is the case here. Okay, so I got really frustrated, and I'm going, dang, these guys have really got to grow. What's going on here? So I started to do some research, and what I discovered is there is a thing called a cover, and it's about 2 inches. Now, they're round. It's a round disc that fits right here, and it has a little slit where the stem will go in, and it covers the rock wall. So I have actually ordered that on Amazon, and I will go ahead and place it right here so you guys can see it. If you go to the post, the link is already there, but you click on the link and it will take you right directly to Amazon. I have them ordered and hopefully they're going to be here. But in the meantime, this is what I did. I want to show you. So let me find one that's just a little bit, yeah. So see how these leaves are just, I mean, they're pathetic. This is 2 weeks worth of growth, and the pH is fine and the nutrients are fine. But the problem is, and I'm going to take this out so you can see, and a little of the algae is gone because not only did I squirt it with hydrogen peroxide in dilution of, not dilution, hydrogen peroxide and water. But so you can see some of the algae is dead. But I took some of that recycled rock wall and I went ahead and gave it another layer. Now this is kind of wet, kind of dry. And what I did was I covered the top. So when you deprive the algae of light, it's going to die. And then finally, this will start growing. So, but you know, the rock wall cubes are, they're all well and good, but you're going to go through them like crazy if that's the case. I just need these things to get big enough to build a canopy so that this whole net pot is covered by a leaf or two. And then the algae issue goes away. But until then, I'm going to be fighting it. So I am so glad that there are these covers and that you can, I supposedly you can use the noodles. I've never done that, don't have them. I know I've mentioned it, but these guys are, it basically, it's black on one side. It's just a cylinder and it's got a hole in the center. And what it will do is it will just fit right over here and I won't have to use up all of my rock wall because I want that for my seedlings. I mean, this one's doing a little bit better, but still, for 2 weeks, these things should be very much like the zucchini, like what I just showed you. It should be even bigger than that. But because I'm battling algae, that's the problem. And you can see on the leaf right here, I mean, look at that. It's got a little bit of like darkening. And again, the nutrients are fine and the pH is fine. But I mean, look at that. It's pathetic. So I'm a little bit sad about this tower. I'm not going to lie. But we're going to figure it out. I think with the extra rock wall on top, it's going to kill that algae. And then I will wait for those covers to come and I will take out the extra and I'll put the covers there to see how we do. And hopefully we'll get some growth by next week. So let's go ahead and move on. Let's get happy again. All right, so let's come on over here to the bean tower. Let me get a nice big full feel of it right there, top to bottom. Lots and lots of green, beautiful leaves. That browning seems to be gone away, and the beautiful lavender flowers are starting to make a mess on the floor. And lo and behold, I have some green beans. Now they grow pretty fast, I have to say. And then what I loved, I saw this morning, is that one of the plants on the bottom it's trellised up the side of the trellis, which I don't know, made me very happy, kind of cute. But yeah, so up here we got some more flowers that will eventually turn into some green beans. And I took all the ones that were at the top. Remember last week, they were kind of like just hanging up there being super, super tall. I kind of spun them down. So I just kind of leaned them over and then spun them into the main section of the bean plant. And they seem to be fine. They're liking the light. They are liking the water. Well, there's a little bit of brown, no big deal. And they're growing. So I'm really happy about that. I thought about putting a an extra spider light at the bottom, but I just think that this is reflecting off the bottom, the lights, and they all look good. But again, see, battling a little bit of algae there. So those covers I think are going to come into, real handy. So there she is. She's very lovely, very pretty. Love the leaves. I love the dimension of them. I mean, they look like little pieces of art. They really do. They're just pointy and really, really pretty. So let's go ahead and move on. Let's see what's going on with our squash. Okay, so I gotta trim back the lettuce. We haven't had a lot of salads this week. We've been doing some other vegetables. And yeah, see how it's starting to canopy over the squash plant that I planted last week. So gotta trim that back. I will do that at a later point. And we got this plant that was shadowed by that mammoth thing, and we've got all kinds of new growth there. And I have still, look at all that. Look at all those little teeny tiny baby summer squash that are in there that will need pollination very, very soon. And they all look super happy, super healthy. And we got one down there inside. Let's see if I can't get in there a little bit. Pollinated growing. Kind of a weird shape, but it's okay. I'll take it. There's one right there that's going to blow open in a day or two. We'll have to pollinate that. But this guy, since I pulled it out of the baby green section, definitely got bigger. Got a yellow leaf. I'll trim that later. This guy up here with a big, big stem, looking really good, nice and hardy. We got a summer squash down here, really pretty. And we're still waiting for those seeds to really develop so that we can go ahead and plant. So hopefully we'll get to that in the next week. Well, what do we got going on over here? So we got one that blew open. Didn't see that, so I'll have to pollinate that in a little bit. One right there that's pollinated. So yeah, that must have blown open this morning. I didn't even see it. So yeah, we've got some really good blooms. Here's a male. And then all this lettuce back here is super, super healthy. Big, big leaves. And then here's a zucchini that got pollinated midweek. So now I've got 3 of them in here. And some beautiful male flowers. Another summer squash down there that's pollinated and growing. And then I got a real big one back here. See if we can't get in there for you. Let's move some of these leaves. There we go. She's big. We like her. So, and then moving around, a lot more blooms. And then deep down we get in there. So this tower's looking really good. I'm really happy with its progress since we removed that mammoth plant. And no, it looks really, really good. Just got to do something about the lettuce. Okay, moving on. So here's the tomato. Just put that light back for you. So the kids get some light. Is the tomato. And they're coming along, I have to say. We got some really good tomatoes. Nice big couple big ones right there from that halo that I pulled out a little bit. And I got tons of cherry tomatoes. And you can see that they're starting to change color. So yeah, really, really, really happy with that. And got some little blooms in here that I've gone ahead and vibrated and upskirted. Way up top. Way up top. More cherries there. More cherries there. We just got to get them ripe now. And some baby ones right there. Look at this cluster in here, guys. Huge, huge cluster of cherry. Some little flowers up in there. They just keep coming. Here's an odd-shaped one. See right there. Kind of odd-shaped. Looks like a nipple. Anyhow, there we go. And then some more of that halo that I kind of picked off, and the big one right there with some little ones right there that are still growing. More cherry over here. And then there's some more of the halo. These just popped out the other day. And then more cherry up here. So this is really coming along. I'm really, really pleased with this. So I'll swivel you guys around here and put this light back. Okay, so cousin it, the amount of blooms that's on this pepper plant, or pepper tower, I should say, is just incredible. I can't keep up with the stuff that keeps falling on the floor. Like it's just, I probably vacuum twice a day to pick them up. But we'll go through it a little bit. It's gotten super, super tall. I'm actually thinking about kind of trimming up there so that it will force it back down into the mother plant. But because I can't even reach up there. But wherever you look, we've got peppers. They're everywhere, in there, up in there. I mean, just galore, galore. And then I think in here, the big one. There's one right here, that guy right there. But there's a mammoth one. There it is, right there. Hello, mama. I can't wait to eat you. Oh, this one over here too. Right there and right there. And this is just the front of the tower. Believe it or not. Believe it or not. It's crazy how big this is. I mean, once they really start to get ripe, I'm going to have peppers for days. I'm going to have to figure out how to do something with them so that they don't go bad. I'm thinking I'm probably just going to like fire roast some of them and then maybe freeze them. That's what I'm thinking. One thing, I don't know. We'll see. If you guys have any ideas, comment down below how I can save these peppers. We have to give some to friends as well. So let's move on to our strawberry. Okay, for some strange reason, my strawberry tower has now taken off. Like the greens are just huge. The leaves are lush and pretty, and I love the texture of them. And the blooms are coming for days. And we actually have, I'm going to see if I can find it. Right there, that is our first strawberry, our very first strawberry. I've been in here self-pollinating every day, twice a day, because we have so many blooms. If you didn't see the strawberry video, I will tag it so you can watch it on how to pollinate your indoor strawberries. But yeah, they're just, and the weird thing is they're just deep. The flowers are super, super deep. You really got to get in here, carefully, and just they're just there. And then they have, I guess, what you call like a runner, I think is the proper term. That so like this one's on a runner right here. There's two of them attached. Here's another strawberry. A little too close right there, that little yellow dot. All the petals are gone, and the tip is engorged. And here's another one. They're just, you just gotta look for them. It's crazy. And the little petals are so cute when they fall off. Here's some more down here. Deep in there. It's like they hide on purpose. So, okay, over to our celery. Still looking lovely. I pick that at least once or twice a week and put them into dishes and salads. They're absolutely yummy. This is a new cucumber. The other one that was here, I picked and we ate it, and it was so yummy, like super, super sweet. So this is going to have to get harvested very, very soon. We got lots down here, and then they're all kind of interwound. We'll go in the back in a minute. I think there's some down here, and another big one. This just has tons and tons of blooms. Here's my celery thing that I just stuck in there with no rock wall, no love. I just shoved it in there, and it's blooming. It's blooming. And then we got lots back here. I can say it's not the prettiest plant when it blooms because it just gets all that yucky stuff in there. But I don't know. I throw the fan on it. It self-pollinates. The flowers are gorgeous. And the fruit that it gives me is absolutely delish. So I have no complaints. The blooms, though, they go everywhere. Again, I gotta keep up with the vacuuming. There's celery from the back. Gorgeous. And it tastes really yummy too. So the other thing I've noticed too is now that these guys are kind of intertwined into this little, um, kind of a trellis over here, is I'm picking these little stems off, these little windy things, because it just forces the plant to grow back in that other direction. I don't really want them to be reaching onto the strawberries and growing on the strawberry towers. So, they're doing their thing. So, but I want to keep them at bay on this, and I don't want this to get any bigger. So that is the room for this week. We got some really good growth. I got a little work to do. And, the watermelon over there, you better shape up because we really want to grow watermelon. And I want to show everybody that we can fix the problem of the algae. So, okay, so I'm going to turn the camera over and we're going to plant the arugula on top of the zucchini, which is right here. Okay, let's do that now. Okay, guys, here's the tray of arugula, and I really want to get going with the planting of it because it's ready. Like the root system is, it's lettuce. It's something that's really, really easy to grow. I mean, it's just got a little bit of root system, but some of them have a little bit more. See if I can't get this out without dropping it. So you can see that there's some, not horrific, but I wish there was a little bit more, but I don't want to, here we go. I don't want it to get so leggy that like the Boston bib did, or I want it to be nice and firm when we put it in here. So I'm going to start with every other, and we'll see what we got here. So let's just pop them in. And what I loved that no algae. It's just so weird how it just happens with some plants. That's got a good root system, and not others. It's bizarre how it happens. I can't explain as to why it. So yeah, we're gonna have plenty. So I'm probably gonna have to do every. It's okay. It's all right. Oh, beautiful root system. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Lovely. Greens are so easy. They really are. I think the hardest thing I've ever grown is the strawberries from seed. That is just now I know how to do it, but before it was difficult. So let's go ahead and put these in. Very challenging. I know a lot of people get their strawberries from companies online, and they get an actual plant, and then they actually get fruit, which is impressive. But what I see sometimes in the groups, the Facebook groups, or whatever group you're involved in, is that the leaves or the plant itself starts to get brown, like either the nutrients are off or the pH is off. Not quite sure. That's usually what I comment. If I comment at all, that's usually the culprit. But sometimes they put them outside. You might get a cold snap. There are lots of variables as to why that could happen. I'm just going to swivel you guys so you can see me a little bit. Again, my towers are inside, so they're controlled by the, oh, that's a nice root system, by the air that's in this room, heat. And then I've got two big windows that I like to open in the morning, just a little bit. It's still kind of cold here, but you just got to change out the air that's in here. Got to change it out. Give them some fresh air. These actually came up really nice. So this packet of seeds, if you do decide to get your towers from Tower Gardening, you're going to get a starter set. So this arugula was part of their free seeds that came with the tower. So I decided to give it a whirl and see what happens. So yeah, we got a lot here. So I think I have filled them all. And I have extra. So I think what I'll do with the extra is I'm going to hang on to it, and I'm going to clean out that baby green section, and harvest it. And then I'll put these guys um, in. Yeah, they have really good root systems. In that side, maybe I'll do half arugula and half Boston, um, just to kind of change things up a little bit. That lettuce is really good for salads, but it's also really good for if you throw it into stir fries and you just want to get some really good greens. That's it's really, or even like omelets. You know, they're great if you want to put it on top of a veggie burger or beef burger. It is not like that heavy crunchy. It's very soft. So, oh my gosh, look at that root system. Beautiful. So I'm going to go ahead and clean that up a little bit and put these in there. So, hi everybody. So at this point in the video, the mic battery died. So I apologize. So I'm standing at the squash tower and we're going to go ahead and we're going to thin out that baby lettuce that's on top. Um, but instead of me doing a voiceover for the last portion of this, I think I'm going to put some fun little music and speed it up so you can just see what I'm doing. I'm basically just cleaning it out, and then we're going to clean up that top part with a mild organic cleaner, and then we're going to plant the rest of that arugula. So enjoy the rest of the video, and thank you so much for tuning in, and be sure to subscribe if you haven't, and we'll see you in the next video.